Hello and welcome. This is Ruth and I have another video for Tonic Studios, and this one is the Simple Sliding Affection Box die set, and there are 36 different dies in it. It makes a really beautiful little box, and the approximate finished size is 141mm by 80mm by 35, which is 5.5 inches by 3.1 by 1.4 inches. I love that little addition to the packaging now, because everyone always asks me what size, and I've normally sent my samples off before I even remember to think about measuring them, so that's a really good bonus for me. Now, you'll see some lovely ideas on here, but of course we'll have a try to make something different as well, or even give you some suggestions. Now on the back here you can see all of the plain dies are the ones that you'll use to make the box up, and then there are lots of patterned ones that you can use for decoration as well. And these look really beautiful. Now, I haven't even opened this to try it yet. I really just took it out of the packaging. So we're going to have a little look here. There we are. We'll have a little look. First of all, when you open it up, you'll see there are instructions, which is really helpful, and it doesn't, well, it doesn't look very difficult from those instructions anyhow. And then this is the die set itself. So we'll just get a little look at that close up. And there we have it. So there's a beautiful die base here, which is this one, and that's the one that you would use for the main construction. But the panels in that look really beautiful. There's a gorgeous little floral pattern on it here with a little edging piece around the outside. And these panels could be used on cards or for bookmarks or even for tags. They will look really beautiful. These are an odd shape, which are obviously perfect for this little box, but might be a little more difficult to use on a card or whatever, but you could rotate that around and add it to a card as well. Maybe a gatefold or something like that would be really nice. This looks lovely actually. This is a little hinge piece on here, and it also sits up in the centre here as well, and it looks really beautiful. There are little tags, the arrow, other little decorative details here. And I think I'll just go and pick out some lovely card and then I'll get started. Well, as you can probably see, I didn't just get carrying on with this as I intended to yesterday, so it's a new day, hence the different sleeves. But anyhow, I'm back today again, and I've cut this out twice in white, and it's very easy to put together, but I also cut these little strips. So I've used this outside one and this one in it together, because that's actually just a little die for cutting the detail, and this one together makes a little strip which I've already glued on here, and then there's a shorter one and you can glue it on there. So I put the longer one on there and the longer one on there, and if you just remember that you will be gluing those to this inside piece here, because this one folds over. So I'm going to do that first before I glue the little box together, and it's really easy. But I love this lovely card. It's Italian Rose, a really beautiful colour, and I wanted to keep it as bright as I could. I had thought actually of putting that on top of black, but I think the white is really lovely. So I've picked out some pearl damask card to go along with this. I'll just show you that there. This is a Craft Perfect speciality card from a little while ago, but if you don't have that, you could certainly go ahead and back the rest of the dies onto plain white. So how I'm going to attach this then is just by gluing these two bases together. So you've got the two pieces this way, just turn one over and rotate them around, and you'll glue the two bottom panels together first of all. Now, and just to be sure that they're all in the right place, fold up these little edges, and if they're showing any signs of needing moved about, do remember to use glue anyway, and that gives you a little bit of manoeuvrability, and you'll get it all in place and it will look really lovely. I have already burnished all of the score lines, so everything's nice and crisp, and I'll just fit that in there, and you can see just like that, that's how you're going to know if that's in the right place. And then that one up, and if that fits snugly in against here and here, you're good to go. And then when you fold that over, you'll not have any little bits showing either. So now these little tabs then are the ones that get glued next, so you're going to glue that into here like that, and do the same the whole way around. And when you've done that, then these pieces fold over the top, and it strengthens the top here and it covers those little glue tabs. But don't forget, make sure all these edges are nice and crisp, and that gives a really good finish to it at the end. Find this little die in the die set, and it can be used to make little compartments in here. Obviously you can leave this flat and put one flat gift or whatever in it, whatever you want to pop in, a little booklet or a notelet or chocolate or something really, really nice. But you can use this to divide it off into little compartments. So what you're going to do then is just fold it along the centre when you cut it out, like this, in a mountain fold in the centre, and then 2 valley folds at the outside. And then these little tabs get folded out the way, so both to the outside. So what you're actually going to do is have it like this, put glue in the centre like that, and then you glue that together, and whenever that has grabbed and taken, you'll be able to pop it into the centre of here. I've marked the centre line there. It's just roughly about 7 centimetres. And what you need to do now then is put glue along this edge here, and on here and here, and you can attach that in there just like that, and that gives you 2 lovely little compartments here. But you can go ahead with as many of those as you like. You can divide it off this way, you can do it in smaller compartments, or just whatever you like. In fact, you could have 2 of these going like this and join those together by those little tabs. You could pop that one in there and that one in there, and that will give you one long compartment going along this way. So there are lots of different ways you could do that, and you can just customize that to whatever you're going to put inside. But for now, I think I'm going to do it this way. Now we'll make the little lid for this box. So I've taken the very big plain die that fits right over the top, and I've cut that out in white, just exactly the same card as I've used for the base of this little box. And then I've cut this one out in the pearl damask that's underneath there, and then I've used this one because this actually has a cutting edge on the outside of it, and it gives you this beautiful little panel on the top here. And again, I've cut that out in Italian rose. I'm going to glue that on there, and then that is my little lid for the box. There are 2 little hearts joined together. You can probably see them just there in your set. That's the die there. And while I'm gluing this on, I'll just tell you how to do that. You cut that little die out next, so have that one ready, and that then becomes the hinges to attach this little panel to the top of the box and have the lid opening. So we cut this out once for that, and snip right across the centre of it there. So you're snipping that into 2 halves like that, and then you'll glue these little panels, so you just want to be sure that you've folded that over on both sides there, and you'll glue those little panels to the back of the box, and the heart shape then will get added onto the back of this. So find the centre there, or just about there. So I hope you can see that there. So we're gluing that directly on there, and just make sure the glue has grabbed before you go any further with it, and do exactly the same on the other side like that, in the centre there. And then once the glue has dried on that one, on both of them, you can go ahead then and add glue onto the top and attach your lid. So you're going to put the glue on here this time, there and there. Those are beautiful little hinges, aren't they? And pop that down there. So if you have just set that on top, you'll know exactly where that goes, right there, and you'll be able to lift these up, and there it is, all nicely attached. And then we can move on to the next bit. That's a lovely little box on its own, and actually you don't even need to go any further with that. You could stop right there and you have a beautiful little box. But we're going to make the next bit. So I've taken this die and I've cut that out twice. And there it is. And I've already gone ahead and made one up, and I'm going to show you how to make the next one up. So we're going to reinforce all these score lines as usual, right along there and there. And this is the base of the box. So well, remember, if you're going to add the little panels onto it, there are 3 little dies here. I've already got them taped on. 3 little couples of dies actually, because there are 2 in each one to cut the outside edge and the inside edge. Then you're going to use both of those. So if you remember that this is the base of your box, you'll want to glue those on and keep the little hearts all facing downwards. So there's a short side here, and then the medium one, and then the longer one for these little panels. And I've gone ahead and glued that onto one, and I'm just going to glue it on here. So the little hearts facing the bottom here. Now we need to go ahead and make this little lid. So you can cut this out, cut it out twice, and then you can cut the backing panel out twice as well, and I've done that in the pearl damask as well. So white 300 GSM is what I've used for this one, and the pearl damask in this one. Now that will fit both sides, so you don't need to look for different dies, just use those 2 twice. So you're going to cut that once and that once, not together. And then you'll find 2 of these in here. The reason there are 2 of these is because these close together, and you're going to have the same pattern at the top on both sides. So obviously you can't just flip this one around, otherwise this pattern will be up at the top. So don't forget to cut them out separately. And you can go ahead then and glue that on there. And that's it all glued on, and then these are the little tabs which you will then glue on in here. So I find the easiest way to do this is just put glue right along there and there and there. And then for me anyway, I thought that this is just the easiest way to set that on there and pop that in. And once you've got all those little pieces inside, you can go ahead and line this up. Put a little peg on there, one on there. That will hold it all perfectly in place, and then you can make sure you have all this in place just by popping a little bone folder inside, and that will just come right up to the top like so, and there. And then you can take those off temporarily and just pop that right out there and put your bone folder inside and burnish along that little glue tab. And just watch at the same time that it's lining up out here, and there you are. That's it. To me that's a lot easier than trying to do it from the top, and I hope it helps you too. And burnish all those little tabs the whole way along, and turn it over and do that one too. And just make sure as you do it that all of these ends are perfectly lined up. Now you can take another one of these little heart pieces and fold it like this, sort of mountain fold and 2 valley folds, and you'll glue the 2 little hearts together like that, and just hold those tightly, and then whenever that grabs, you've got a little oblong kind of shape that's exactly the same shape as here. and you can go ahead and glue that directly on top. Now I've got this little piece, which is the little latch or the little lock, and I've cut that out twice. So where this part will fit through those two slits in the centre like that, you just go to the opposite end right here at this edge and have these folded over, and you're going to glue by this side just directly in there and in there. So I'll take this out to show you it better. You're gluing that onto there like that, and then you can attach those with a little bit of ribbon. You can close it over with ribbon or whatever you like at the end. But that's going in there just like that. And this one then on the other side. A little look at this, and I thought I might like to try something a little bit different with it as well. So I've made the little tray in exactly the same way, and this time I have just lined it inside and left it without any compartments, and I've put the same heart paper around all of those edges with the little stitched edging die. It's really beautiful. And then I took the panel that made the lid, and I've covered the inside of it with heart paper as well, with that little stitched edging. And then I took a piece of white card. Now the white card measures, well, it actually doesn't matter too much what it measures, because that will depend on what you're going to put on top of it. But what I've done here is it's 7.5 centimeters, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little sections on it, and each one of those sections that I have scored there is 1.9 centimeters, because that's the same depth as this. And then I have gone ahead and glued one of those sections directly onto there. And what I want to do now then is just put glue on the other tab here at this end and glue that so that it fits in here. So you can see that that will just go right along there. I'll just do that first, and then we'll come back and do the rest. Now I've taken the two little tabs that I put on the other box inside, and I'm going to put one on here and one on here. Now you're probably wondering why this isn't attached here, but I thought that would make this just a little bit too bulky if you were going to put it on inside the little sleeves that I have done for this one. But you could certainly go ahead and add another little piece on there, but I think for this, the way I'm finishing this one, I think it's best left open like that there. So we'll go ahead and glue these little tabs on. And those little hearts go really beautifully with the heart paper as well. I've gone ahead then and added a little heart panel onto the top there, and that looks really lovely inside. So I've taken the little friendship frames die, and I have cut this little panel out of it here and layered one on top of the other, and I'm just going to pop that on there, and just by gluing the bottom half of it, and we'll just go about there. This time I haven't gone ahead and made a second sort of sleeve or these two parts to go on the top, because I was running a bit short of time, but I've used the same one for here just to show you. So this is the original box that I made, and then this is the second one. So it fits inside the little sleeve just the way it was. I also made this little tag from the set as well by cutting the two out together in the white card, and then just cutting the background one in the Italian rose and layering them up together. But when you take this out of the sleeve I've popped this onto the centre. I centred that actually just by putting these on and gluing it in and then lifting it off again. And there you are, and that is just so pretty. So you could use that as a little card on its own there, or you could put a little gift in. There's still room for something small, a little piece of jewellery or something really nice in there. Isn't that really lovely? So those are both really beautiful little sets, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I think there's other things you could do with that as well. I was looking at this and I thought that this, maybe, let's see, 2 of these together, you could sort of have several of these. I could set it this way maybe, and it looks like a sort of mini file holder, and you could put little things inside as well. Not necessarily with these on unless you wanted to join them, but I think that would be a lovely idea as well. And you could possibly pop some of these in standing upright like that in them as well. And certainly these dies would be beautiful on cards. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I love the way it turned out, and I hope you do too. And all my affiliate links for everything I've used will be down below in the description of the video. So thank you again to everybody who uses those, because I make a little commission off that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed it, to give the video a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment down below, and that always helps me as well. And if you haven't already subscribed, maybe you could think about doing that too and hitting the notification bell. And I'll see you soon again. So thank you very much, and in the meantime, happy crafting. Bye bye.